Hi guys, it's day 5 of the game jam today. So it's another work day, so I've only had a few hours to work on it, but what I've done today is worked on polish. So I've got particle effects, I've got sounds, yeah, more kind of juice to the game. So let's see what you think of it. Today I've been working on some audio for the game, so I've now got kind of like a complete game loop. You can play it, you can lose, you can die. So what I'm starting to do now is add in some sound effects. So I've got shooting, got explosions with various asteroids, and then also if I start bumping into things, we've got the shields. Just find some more rocks to bash into. So you'll notice there's a bit of variety as well. So if I do the shooting, I'm still a little bit too quiet for the shooting. But I've got different variations of effects. So what I've done is I've made use of scriptable objects here. So for example, the asteroids, the way I've done those is I wanted like the larger asteroids to have like a lower pitched sound. But then for things like the ship stuff, what I've done here is I've literally just put in a variety of different pitches. So I've got one bass sound and then adjusted it. So yeah, it's the same sound, and then I've just adjusted the pitch very slightly and then just put in those different variations there. And then in the audio manager, it just takes one at random and plays it. So it just adds a tiny little bit of variety. So again, for the ship data here, I've just put in an array of different sounds, and then this scriptable object gets passed through when I'm raising an event. So it's a way of keeping the sounds, rather than having like a ton of sounds on the audio manager, which is something that I had in my last game. I'm kind of spreading them out into places that kind of make sense. I don't know if this is how I will continue to do it as I go on to other games, but it's kind of better than I had in the last game. So I'll just keep improving on it. So yeah, so it's now kind of coming along. So I just play the game again, and we can actually die and restart. So if I go crash into some rocks, if you look at the shields in the bottom left, if I come down to 0, couple more, I need a bigger rock. There we go. So now I can either just start the game again, or I could just go back to the main menu. So at this point I have got I would say this is a complete game now. You've got scoring, you can die, you can go back to the main menu. The only thing I'm missing is that credits button from the main menu. But yeah, it's now a fully playable game. It's not quite a proper asteroids game because you don't have the this all works now as well, and for the music obviously. But yeah, I've got a fully playable game at this point, so I think I can actually publish the game on itch. So far I've been uploading some builds on there, but I haven't published the page, so it wasn't playable. So I think I'm going to do that today, and I'm going to continue to polish this version before I add new features. So today I've worked on sound. I also want to start putting in some particle effects for things like the explosions. So I want to kind of get, this is what I was talking about with the iterative development. So I want to kind of get like this version of the game polished up and looking good and being complete before I add new stuff. So that's the way I'm gonna develop this game. So I'm approaching this one different to the last one, and I think it's going better so far. Right, I've done quite a bit of tweaking with the sound. So I've now got a sort of a thruster sound as the character plays. I've set the damage really low, so that was a little bit too low. So yeah, what I've done for the game over is I've now got a sound when the ship gets destroyed, and it also fades out the music over a couple of seconds. So if I show that again, and at this point you can no longer move the player. So what I'm going to want to do here, and I've also got a slight delay, if I just show that again, is just a slight delay between the game over panel, because what I want to do is now I want to start putting in some particle effects to like show the ship blowing up. So I've got a sound effect for it now, which is that, and then is that delay, and the game over screen comes up, the music fades out. So it's been quite fiddly getting all those little bits and pieces working. Obviously, if you try again, the music will fade back in. But now, yeah, now I think I've got enough on the sound. I think I've got sound effects everywhere I need them, but now I need some visual effects. I've not really used particles before, apart from in a tutorial thing that I did. So yeah, I'm definitely going to want some particles for the asteroids exploding, as well as the ship exploding. So I now have particle effects. I found this pack here on the asset store. So we're only allowed to use 3 assets for this jam, but this is like a sample pack of their full thing. So I've added 2 things. So firstly, I've got this little glow going on. I don't know if you can see it, just that very subtle little blue dots, and I've got that in the actual game as well, but kind of more subtle. But the main thing is, if I now die, so if I blow up the ship, she says, there, look at that. I really like that. So yeah, now I think it's pretty much polished. I can't really think of anything else that I need to add to polish this part of the game. So at this point, I'm going to go and do a build, release it on itch, and then I'm going to start adding some new stuff. For example, splitting up those asteroids into smaller bits. So if I just kind of like, you know, play it now, it's actually, I find it quite satisfying to play. This is far more fun than like Toasty Tumble or something. But yeah, if I just blow up, that's pretty satisfying. Yeah, I like that. I forgot something pretty important, actually, exploding the asteroids. So there's another particle effect for that. So I just move my cat who wants to shoot the asteroids. So I've got that, and then it scales according to the size of the asteroid. So I've been able to do this on the scriptable object as well. So everything is using the size. So the smaller ones are going to have smaller explosions. So now if I run around and actually kind of play the game, it's feeling much more kind of juicy now. So if I just kind of like just run around and hit things and shoot things until I die, which I undoubtedly will. There we go, 10% left. So the next hit I'm probably going to die, and now there's nothing to shoot. There we go. I like it. It's still exploding. I'm not sure why that is.